Hello, dear students. Today you're going to understand a very important and frequently asked question in CBSE board exams. How to check whether a pair of linear equations is consistent or inconsistent. Let's begin. What do you mean by linear equation? It means that system whose highest power of the variable is 1. That equation is called a linear equation. And what is the general form of a linear equation? General form of a linear equation is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. This is a linear equation and a is a coefficient of x, b is a coefficient of y, and this is a constant, and this is a linear equation in variables x and y, two variables, right? Now what do you mean by pair of linear equations? Pair means two linear equations. So what are the general form of linear equations? A1x plus b1y plus c1 is equal to 0, and another is a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0. These are system of linear equations. These are the general form. And what is a graph of a linear equation? Graph of a linear equation is always a straight line. And what are the methods to solve pair of linear equations? Whenever you're getting two linear equations and you need to solve it, there are three methods to solve pair of linear equations. First one is substitution method. You will solve these two equations by substitution method. Secondly, you are going to solve it by elimination method. And lastly, you can solve it graphically on a graph paper. Okay? And substitution and elimination method, always you solve it algebraically. But graphically, this method you need to solve it on a graph paper. How the question comes on a board exam? The question comes like solve system of linear equations. Two equations will be given to you. You need to solve that equation graphically. Mostly they give you graphically, you need to solve it. And graph paper is attached in your answer sheet. And also they'll ask to check the consistency of linear equations, right? So these two questions will be in one question only. So let's do how to check the consistency of linear equations and also the nature of graphs. So there are three criteria, three conditions to check the consistency of linear equations. First one is, before checking the consistency, you always find the coefficients of x, y, and the constants also you need to find. So a1 you need to find and a2 and find the ratio. Okay, you need to find the ratio of b1 and b2 also, and b1 and b2 are the coefficients of y, and find the ratio of the constants of those linear equations. Okay, and what are the three conditions? First condition is, if you're getting a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2, these ratios are not equal, then system is consistent. You need to keep all these three conditions in mind in your memory. Okay, system is consistent. And what is the solution? What type of solution you'll get? You will get unique. Unique means one. Unique solution you'll get, and you need to check it, right? You need to show it this algebraically, and you need to write these things. That will be of 2 mark or 1.5 mark in the exam. Next is to solve it. You will solve these linear equations. If this satisfied, then solve it on a graph paper. These are the coordinate axes. I'm just drawing briefly and I'm giving you a rough idea how the two equations will look. You will plot the two equations on a graph paper, and for example, one I'm getting like this linear equation. For first equation, the straight line, and for the second also I'm getting a straight line, and the two lines will intersect. When the two lines, two linear equations are intersecting, in this condition you will get a unique solution. The coordinates x and y you'll get. Okay, so this is how it will look on a graph paper when a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. Is that okay? And the lines will be intersecting. Second condition is when a1 by a2 is equal to B1 by B2 is equal to C1 by C2. Means all the three ratios are equal. How it will look? What is the criteria for that? So let me write this condition is coming is equal to B1 by B2 is equal to C1 by C2. All the ratios are equal. And in this case also the system is consistent. You will write the system will be consistent and they have infinitely many solutions. What is the status of the solutions? Infinitely many solutions. And how it will look on a graph paper? On a graph paper, when you will plot it, I'm sorry, it's not straight, but you need to plot it very nicely. And when you're plotting it, these are the coordinate axes. When you're plotting it on a graph paper, the two lines will coincide. Suppose this is a graphical representation of first equation, and the second equation also will coincide on it, will overlap, right? These are the two equations, they will come one on each other. So the system is consistent, and in this case it has infinitely many solutions, and this is the graphical representation of this condition. Is that okay? Now third condition is if a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 but it is not equal to C1 by C2. First two ratios are equal, but the constants ratio is not equal to this. Then in this case, the system is inconsistent. Inconsistent and it has no solution. Students, you will get a solution when the lines intersect, right? In the first case, it will intersect, here it will coincide, but here no solution. And the lines will be parallel to each other. They will neither coincide nor they will intersect. They will be parallel to each other, okay? So this is how the three conditions I have explained you, and you need to keep in your memory. Let's take one example. I have for you this question. Check the given system of linear equations are consistent or inconsistent. So first step is to write it in journal form. Like a1 by x, you will write it fast, plus b1 y plus c1 is equal to 0. Similarly, this one also. Sorry for the technical glitches. a2x plus b2y plus C2 is equal to 0. These are the two linear equations I've written. And you need to find now coefficients of x and y. A1 is minus 2. A2 is minus 4. Similarly, we'll find B1 here is 3. B2 is minus 6, right? And C1 is minus 7. C2 is minus 12. I have written all the coefficients. Now let's find the ratio. A1 by A2 is equal to minus 2 upon minus 4. That will give me half. And B1 by B2 will be equal to 3 upon minus 6. This will be equal to minus half. And what is C1 by C2? Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, C1 by C2 is equal to 7 upon 12. You can easily see. Now, which condition is satisfied? You can see that A1 by A2 is not equal to B1 by B2. This condition is satisfied because A1 by A2 is coming out to be half. B1 by A2 is coming out to be minus half. So these two are not equal. So our system is consistent. This system of linear equations is consistent and it has a unique solution. You must write unique solution or one solution, and it will have intersecting lines on a graph paper. On a graph paper, it will show intersecting lines. Already I've shown you roughly, right? So this is how I have explained you all the three conditions of consistency, and also I've shown you if graphically you will represent it on a graph paper, you can find the solution and what is the three lines will be showing you graphical representation of all three cases I've shown you also. So students, if you want that I should make a video on the three methods to solve the linear equations, kindly do write me. And any other method or any other topic you want me to solve for you, just do write in the comment section. Okay, students, thank you. I hope that I made myself clear to everyone. And please do subscribe my channel. Thank you very much. Have a good day.